take a look at an equation of a circle and transformations. Okay, so we're going to make a tab, call it equation of a circle and transformations. Then go ahead and pause the video and copy each thing down. Alright, so let's take a look at the first one. Finding the center and the radius of any circle given. These are the steps. You need to know if you have an addition sign, you want to write as a negative negative because a negative makes a positive. And then to find the radius squared, you just take the square root. So x minus h squared. So you see it's a positive, so we're going to write negative negative 13 squared plus y, and then you see it's a positive, so we're going to write as negative negative 16 close parenthesis squared equals, to write the radius squared, all you have to do is take the square root of the number. So the square root of 16 is 4, and because 4 squared is 16. Circle h and k only, so it should go x minus then h. This is a listening check. Circle number 1. So x minus then h, so that's circle. Y minus then k. Alright, then write the center and the radius. That's easy. One more step, the center is hk and the radius is obviously r. So h is negative 13 and k is negative 16 and the center is 4. So that's how you get the center and the radius from the equation. So previous videos we went to find the equation of the circle. Now we're going backwards. So again, if you have a positive, write minus minus because negative times negative is a positive. That one is not positive, so you leave it as it is. Then to write radius squared, you take the square root of that number, so that's going to be 6 because 6 squared is 36. Now it looks like that. Now you're going to circle h and k. So you go x minus, then everything after that circle. Y minus, and everything after that circle. So that's going to give me h and k, so negative 3 and positive 4. And the radius is already there squared, so the radius is just that number 6. So we can go backwards from an equation to find the center and the radius. Same thing. Here there's no numbers, so what can I put? X minus what? 0. And then y, and then we need a minus, so it's already positive, so we need minus minus, so it can become positive. And then square root of 83, because it's not a whole number and I don't feel like writing a whole decimal down. So square root of 83 squared. Alright. Then you can circle h and k, so x minus, then circle, y minus, then circle everything after that. So that's going to be 0 and negative 3, your circles. And then the radius is just the square root of 83, because remember it's the radius squared. So square root of 83. Alright, so now we know how to do that, going backwards. Now let's do a question where you have to transform it. So the reason I went backwards is because you have to find what the center and the radius is and then transform. So rewrite it as the equation of a circle. This is a listening check. Color in the word translation. And then square root of 25 is 5. Then circle h and k, so it should go x minus, then circle, y minus, then circle. And then, so that's my center, which is 3 and 9, with my radius being 5. Once I have that, I do whatever the question is saying, the translation. So remember, what's translation? Just move it. So x and y, this is going to move it left 1, and that's going to move it up 2. And that's what I do. So I'm going to move it. Now, the first couple of questions, I'm going to draw it, I'm going to graph it, but then after this, we'll just do it. So, again, you do not get credit for sketching. You have to graph it. Do not get credit for sketching. Go up in 2s. So, like, each box is 2. So, it goes 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, so forth. And so, if you're looking for an odd number, it's in between the 2 boxes in the middle. So, 3 and then 9. Those are odd numbers in between. And then the radius is 5, so half a box is 1. Well, first we're going to move it to the left 1 and up 2. So a circle moves but remains the same shape and size, because that's what a translation is. So we're going to move it 1 left, so it's half a box, and then up 2, half a box, half a box. So that's my new center. And because a circle only moves, it doesn't change in shape or size, the radius is going to stay the same, which is 5. So all I did was take the center, move it left 1 and up 2. So that's my new center, and the radius is still 5. So I'm going to count 5 to the right, and remember each box is 1. 5 up, 5 to the left, because all those are radiuses, 5 down. And then I'm going to make a circle around those points as best as you can, please, as best as you can. Remember, no sketching. I have to be able to see each point. So the radius is 5 with a center of 3, 9. Now, you don't have to draw it to actually see it. You can do it with the calculations. So the center for my new one is 211. If you count it, to 11, the radius is 5, and we can make an equation of a circle off of that by saying x minus h, which is 2, and k, which is 11. So this will be my new equation of my circle. But what you could do from your old one to your new one, you could just do the translation. So x minus 1, so you're going to subtract 1 from the x, and only what you've circled. So it's going to be minus 1 from that, and then add 2 to the 9. So it's going to be x minus, and then 3 minus 1, which is 2. Write everything else out. 9 plus 2, which is 11. Write everything else out. Everything else stays the same. This is a listening check. Put a box around translation. So first I need the center and the radius. So I'm going to rewrite it. I'd have a positive, so it's going to be 2 negatives. And the square root of 49 is 7. So now I can see my center. It's going to be h minus circle, y minus circle. So my center is 0, negative 5, and my radius is 7 from my previous notebook. Once I have my center, all I have to do is translate it. Translate it is just moving it. So all you're going to do is apply the transformation. So I'm going to subtract 7 from x, add 1 to y. Alright, but I'm going to draw it out first. Again, remember, no sketches. Start at the center, 0, negative 5, and then go left 7, and then up 1. That's going to give me my new center. And the radius is 7, so count 7. 7 to the right, 7 up, 7 left, and 7 down, and draw the circle as best as you can. But again, no sketches. So it looks like this. This is my new circle with a radius of 7. Alright, but we're going to do it without that. Say we're doing that without the circle. You do subtract 7 and add 1 to y. So it's going to be, write everything out, and then just the circle. 0 minus 7 is negative 7. And then negative 5 plus 1 is negative 4. And write everything else the same. Those are going to make a positive. Those are going to make a positive. And that's going to be 49. And so that's your new equation of your circle. So you don't actually have to draw the circle, but you can. And you can see it has a center of the same thing and the radius of 7. Alright, take a look at example 6. This time we're rotating. Now remember, a rotation is just like a twist or a turn. So again, find the center, so rewrite it. If there's any addition signs, you should put minus minus, and the square root of 1 is 1, so 1 squared is 1. Okay. So the center is, should x minus, then circle, y minus, then circle everything after that. So the center is 7, negative 8, and the radius is 1. Now, again, a rotation is just turning. It doesn't change anything. Okay. Do not sketch this. Draw half a box is like 1. Half a box is 1. This is a listening check. Color in the circle in example 5. Color in the circle in example 5. And the radius is 1. So 1 right, 1 up, 1 down, 1 left. So that's my circle. That's my new circle. When you're rotating, when you rotate a circle, it'll always leave it looking the same. Because look, I rotate it. Looks the exact same thing. I rotate it again. Still looks the same. Because rotation doesn't change the shape of a circle. Because a circle is the same no matter how you look at it. So to rewrite my new equation, it goes x minus h, which is 7, squared, plus y minus k, which is negative 8, squared, equals 1. And the two negatives make a positive. That's why it's positive 8. Alright, let's do one more question. Okay, so again, write down the equation of a circle in standard form. So it's minus 0, and it's 7 squared, with h and k being 0, 0, or the origin. Anytime you see x squared plus y squared, it's the origin. Radius is 7. So what am I doing? What is a dilation? A dilation scale factor of 3 is just going to make the circle bigger. So it's going to be bigger, but it's going to be exactly still a circle. So how much bigger it is? Well, think about it. If you have a radius of 7, it's going to be 3 times bigger than 7. So my new radius is going to be 7 times 3, which is 21. But the center is still going to be at 0, 0. So it's just going to get bigger around the center. And I'm not going to draw that. I'm just going to talk about it. So let's practice.